Welcome back. Here we have once again another video on the SPY. Um, of course, price remains choppy, and as always, that's okay. We get tighter price action, bigger moves, and the important thing is to be able to identify these bigger moves. So coming into next week, we have, on my analysis, I think we see some more downside if we don't bounce off this psychological 600 level that we're sitting at. This could be a nice little pivot as we see a couple reversals from this area. We see a couple nice moves to the upside from this 600 zone. Even here we had a nice little gap up to move back to these highs, which is like the 608 and now 610 612 zone. So if you paid attention to the last video, as always, the link to the previous video will be in the description below. I think we were maybe sitting, I don't know, 6 days ago. So 1 2 3 4 5 6, maybe around this candle. In the video we did say we were targeting top of the channel for a potential move to 612. We hit precisely 612, and we saw a nice reaction off that zone. We did go a little higher than 612, but nonetheless 612 was where we saw a reversal, and we got a nice big move to the downside. Shorts were alerted, so thankfully we're able to identify where resistance lies, because you could see previous highs. Not very hard to identify. But now that we're breaking back into this wedge, I know I have a million lines here, but I'm referring to this wedge right here. Kind of like just this resistance zone that we weren't able to break. This was a signal for longs, and the previous high was a signal for shorts. And now that we're back into the wedge, like I just mentioned, we can target some downside. So we already saw some downside from the top of the wedge, but we still have this 595 area to touch that we've touched in the past a couple of times, and maybe even the bottom of this wedge right here, which can align with all of these candles on a dynamic level to touch some support for some downside targets. And if we can see where we're targeting, we're more or less looking at, yeah, it all kind of lines up. This looks like all long time support. This candle lines up with the rest of these, and if we continue on over here, we see that they align there. So this is kind of respecting this area, and that's what we see right now. To stop at that random psychological level, a nice break under this 600 level, we can target 595, and then potentially a move to the 585 area, where we've seen price kind of get stuck in the past a couple times. So now that we have some sort of indicator of, a bearish move because we broke into this little wedge, I'll be targeting some shorts. I'll be looking for a reaction off this 600. Going forward for bulls, I want to see a clear over this 602, or wherever price decides to break over this zone. And we could see maybe around 602, who knows, maybe 601 when price decides to bounce off the bottom of these lows and then break over here. Point is that I'm waiting for a break over this dynamic resistance for bulls. And then we can target areas to the upside, which obviously we have these previous highs right here. We could target 606, and we could target the previous highs, which is going to be 610 and 612. And then if we can kind of line up where price, if it decides to get bullish, we can kind of align that price will rise to about 620, 618, 620. And then we'll see a reaction, as we usually do, at the top of the long time channel. So if these levels help you, Please leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.